I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese, Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
GEM International is a new diamond explorer in the richest diamond producing country in Africa, located next to the fourth largest producing diamond mine in the world. International spotlight is on an 1109 carat diamond recently discovered in Africa by a fellow Canadian junior with a proven operator and finance team. GEM International trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol GI. Visit us at gemdiamondmining.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Martyn Element. He's a Vancouver-based marketing and corporate advisor who focuses on sourcing and pursuing new business ventures and opportunities. Welcome back to the show, Martyn, and welcome back from London.
Thank you so much. And, here we are, smack in the middle of summer on a long weekend, and it is busy in my business. I'm in that, I've been doing a lot of junior deals other than resource, of course, and had a lot of fun doing them, brew pubs, geothermal, beverages, everything. But I've also done an awful lot of resource deals, and boy, are we ever in a resource market right now. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get a pass for a short time at the Sprott show that they put on, the conference this week. It was on for the whole week. And, I've known Rick as he sent me an email just the other day.
Right? Rick Rule,
yeah. And he said that, Martyn, I was trying to get a ticket, and he says, Martyn, he says, I've known Martyn over 40 years, he says, and, Martyn knows I've had my moments with the fire marshals, and I was chuckling from his previous things he was involved with, and anyway, I managed to get in, and I have to give a major tip of the hat to Rick Rule and the people at Sprott. How smart just are they to have picked the Vancouver hotel rather than the big, huge conference center. It was like everybody was packed in there, and it was a lot of the who's who, and I think it was exclusively deals that Sprott has invested in, so it was a lot of the blue chip, smaller to mid-sized mining companies. They were all there in all their glory, and they were packed. I saw John Kaiser giving his talk. There wasn't a seat to be had. I have no idea how many the room held. But I think they did 1,000 tickets, but they had over 1,100 people looking for tickets, and the tickets were going for, I heard, anywhere from $500 to $800 for the outside public. But it was, if you think or wondered whether we may be in a resource market, we are in a major resource market. Yes, on the beginning of August, and yes, I've experienced this once in my lifetime. I can't remember what year it was. There was a little lull for about a week or 7 or 8 days, I think, in August of that particular run. That was, and if I remember rightly, but then it was hard at it again into the end of August and straight into September. And you look at lithium, just as an example, this last few weeks, it's turning up again. I see there's an article in, somebody just sent me in the Financial Post saying that if you think you missed the boat, you didn't, and here's why, and it gives 3 or 4 examples. I myself am the president of AIS.H, and we had a very exciting week as we launched into the lithium and the cobalt space in Quebec. So it's been a very, very exciting week for me, and continues to be, but more about that later. Frankie Justra's deal that got us all going to a huge extent here is back up over $2. I think I saw it $2.05, looking like it wants to go higher. And he is currently, listeners, climbing Kilimanjaro with Tommy Humphreys and Brian Pisbraga And I hope the boys are safe doing that, because some of my friends had some altitude problems doing just that. So I hope that he's safe and comes back down safe. But so he's going up a mountain and his stock's going up again. How nice is that? At the conference, I was able to have a small quick chat with Catherine McLeod, the very famous lady in her own right, a keeper, and now currently Burke Creek. And I was asking about Ira Thomas, because the two of them are very close. And as she reported to me, she said, yes, Ira is taking the summer off. I said, yeah, I did see Ira, and that's what she told me. But she said, you know Ira? I said, yeah. I bet you she's cooking something else up. So, you know Ira, she'll be back again in the fall for sure with something. And there's another dear friend of mine, it was actually Shane Nyquist, just saying to me late last night, he says, you know, Martyn, these people are not doing it for the money. And that seems such an obvious statement after you say it, but they're not. They're doing it because they love the excitement. They love the hunt. They love the hunt of finding that new deposit and finding that new deal that's going to make all the difference. And it's exciting. It's a very, very, when this business goes, it lights up like a Christmas tree. It is going, and it's so exciting to be around. And I'm looking at all these smaller situations, but trying to find a quality gold, small, close to production deal. That's the needle in the haystack at the moment, listeners. Very, very, very hard to find, and that's because so much of, I've been saying over the months and months here, so much of these smaller quality deals, you've got these big deals that trade, that have, their pockets are full, and they are out buying up even so many of these deals and putting them into inventory and putting them into inventory. So trying to find a deal, that makes sense is very, very difficult right now. And I think that it's, there's one called Blue River that I'm familiar with, which is doing things in Cambodia with the Anchor Group, which I think is with the copper and gold. There's some really nice deals out there, and they're coming along nicely. And I think that I will talk more perhaps next time we come on. I've got a couple of gold juniors that I like that are about 4 or 5 weeks ago before they'll be ready for marketing. But they're very, very tough to find. So that's the secret. And finding quality in this lithium space is not easy. You need people that can run these deals. I'm fortunate. I have a man that spent 5 years in this space and is very knowledgeable that's working with me. And I'm very, very grateful for that. But it's trying to find the quality issues. As the game doesn't change. It's all about, finding the right team, the right projects, and finding the right structure. Structure is very important too. So there you go. There you go, Jim. Let's just get it started.
Well, Martyn, you've always said it's the people you deal with that's so important. And with a lot of these juniors, if you call up and want to talk to the president, no problem, right?
Well, and if there is, if you do have a problem, then there's your first, what would my mentor say to me? Martyn, you're getting a preview. You may not like it, but you're getting a preview. If you can't get hold of the president or he doesn't really want to talk to you, then unless, and there's very, very, very unusual circumstances, it's not a good sign. And I think that, yes, but for these small juniors, you can talk to some of these people, and that's why those tickets were so hard to get for that Sprott conference. And another thing, I don't know whether Rick actually spoke with the public companies that attended at his show, and being him and such a detailed guy and doesn't miss a trick, Rick Rule. I was surprised to see the Catlin McLeods sitting at their stands, the people that run these companies at their stands. I think I saw Brad Cook there, and he's just done a deal, by the way, listeners, and here's another sign the markets are going. He's just done a pre-IPO, where he sold it, a pre-IPO before they go public. It won't be public till October. I think it's called Aztec. He just raised $3 million through Haywood, and it's his gold deal. He's always been silver for so long, and now he's doing a gold deal. So, it's exciting. Very, very exciting, Jim. I can't say enough about that, but it's been five it's been over 5 long years for most of us. My last deal that I was really involved in any way was gold bullion. I'm involved with that company again. That's exciting at the moment. That's got a lot of things going on. But I tell you, it's exciting to be in the business right now.
We'll have more with Martyn Element right after the break.
I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Gem International is a new diamond explorer in the richest diamond-producing country in Africa, located next to the 4th largest producing diamond mine in the world. International Spotlight is on an 1109-carat diamond recently discovered in Africa by a fellow Canadian junior with a proven operator and finance team. Gem International trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol GI. Visit us at gemdiamondmining.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Martyn Element. Martyn, I know the Sprott show was a big success, but you're back from London recently. What was the mood like there?
The mood was very upbeat. I think a lot of the people that did vote to stay are beginning to see that they were corralled, or perhaps bullied isn't the right word, or put into a fear mode, or these big banker types in the city were definitely wanting to stay. And I think there's a lot of redundancies coming in a lot of these businesses, but we were talking about just before we went on air that I just, back in my mind, it's just nagging me. I think it's a lot of these people that were looking to make people redundant are seeing this is the opportunity to clean house a little bit. You know, Barclays laying off an awful lot of people, and some of these other big banks. So, you know, I think that we're really seeing a changing there, and I think that, as I mentioned, I think last at the show, that gold is definitely getting a billing. Lithium, you can find a pulse for that in London as well, which is exciting. And as I said just before the break, I just have an inkling that copper, you know, I've said this before over the last 12 months and it didn't work, but I just get the feeling, you know, that at the show there was some mentions about copper. There was a couple of mentions of significant deals getting done in copper in London as well, and I just stumbled across a little copper deal which is very professionally run by a very professional group, and I'm hoping to get potentially involved with them more, but we can talk about it more if that, you know, when that happens. But I just have a feeling about copper, and then, you know, the Chinese and China is such an enormous market, and everybody said it was done, it was busted, there was going to be blood in the streets. Well, it hasn't happened yet, and it doesn't appear, and I'm hearing that they're buying more of the hard metals again. And don't forget about the sleeping giant, which will be an even bigger economy, people are telling me, India. It hasn't gone away, and, you know, I think that is a country we're going to hear more and more about. So, no, I think the mood in London was not subdued, not with the people I was meeting with. But you got to remember, Jim, I'm meeting with the people that are, you know, doing things on the exciting edge of doing things. Perhaps a lot of them involved in the gold area and things like that. So it's you know, it's not a really good judge of the situation. If I was going into the down into the big city there and down into Canary Island and Canary Wharf and visiting some of those, you know, humongous multi-billion-dollar corporations, then maybe I would have different comments to make here. And but I wasn't. I was doing more the junior, and I met with the editors. As I say, I had lunch with the editor for North America and Canada of the Mining Journal, and he was so upbeat and so positive and having so much fun with his job and his position. You know, he was the kind of person I was dealing with, more so than the morose, perhaps some of the people that are still worrying about the repercussions of BritX and all these sorts of things. And one thing I did hear, which was very sad, is that certain newspapers and certain talking heads saying that Carney's Carney should be let go because he put fear into everybody and it didn't happen. So, and I think that's very sad because of course he's such a very clever man, and I think he's still a very clever man. But so people were asking for his head, which was rather sad, I think, in that regard.
Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of Canada, who's now the governor of the Bank of England, right?
Yes, I'm sorry, listeners. Thank you for that, Jim. I was talking a little bit vague there, and I appreciate that. That's quite correct, listeners. Here, Mark Carney did such a fabulous job for us here, and he has been doing a very good job in Britain up to now. But he was fear-mongering right up to the run-up to the BritX, and even afterwards. But now we'll have to see what happens with him and the future there, of course.
Well, of course, and I also think it's your duty, if you're the head banker, to let people know what the risks are.
Yes.
You can't say it's all going to be sunshine and puppy dogs.
Yeah, I did see Peter this last week too, and I tell you, for his age, and there's an example of what we said earlier. It's not about the money; it's about having fun and finding the deals.
Peter Brown.
So yes, I've done that again, haven't I? I'm sorry, Peter Brown, and he's having the time of his life. He's in there. He's talking to his broker about all his positions and a lot of gold positions, of course, listeners. He's a big believer in a couple of significant players in that space, and he does have a biomed. But the point being is that he's excited. He's excited, and he's excited about life, and he's not looking for the beach towel and sitting down. I mean, he's 72, 73, whatever he is, but there's no slowing down for Peter, I tell you. No slowing down. And then there was a deal that we mentioned. Let's finish on this a little bit, Jim. Golden Dawn. We talked about it a lot before Christmas, November, December, 8 or 9 cents, I think it was, and it's doing things right here in British Columbia, up in Greenwood, BC. And since then, it very well backed out of Germany, run by a German fellow. I did a trip over to the UK with them at that time. But Golden Dawn is now, I think it closed 37.8, but I think I saw it trading at 40 cents, and I don't know whether he's completed his $7 million financing, but that's a success story. As so many of these resource deals. And then somebody told me that Teck broke $20 this week. $20 a share. It was down at 405 just what seems like a moment ago. What was it, 6 months ago? And people were saying it's all over. I mean, yes, listeners, we are in a resource market. Don't get fooled. There'll be some pullbacks here. Don't get crazy. The same rules apply as we drum and drum and drum, especially with the juniors. Don't spend money you can't afford to lose the lot with a lot of these juniors. That's a pretty horrific statement, but it's true. And, stay close to your advisors and really try and be very, very careful, because we're in treacherous waters in a positive way right now. I think you're seeing some of these stocks have gone from 50 cents to $4 and $4.50, and, they've got to be getting frothy. And don't be afraid of taking a profit. You never go broke taking a profit too soon. And what is it? You treat it like an orange. You take a suck and then pass it on, and a lot of these sayings didn't happen by chance. They happen because they are so right. And keep to your rules. Don't get greedy. I mean, I have been a victim of greed in the last 7 or 8 years myself, unfortunately, on one scenario. Even that I'm a very cautious Eddie, and I think very basic, but I did get the greed situation going, and it's silly. When you're making hundreds of %, sell your position to cover your original investment. That's always a very good advice too. And then you're playing with the casino's money, and that kind of a thing. So, yep, it's exciting times, Jim, and thank you for giving me the air, and I look forward to coming on in a couple of weeks with some more interesting comments and reviews on a very exciting time to be involved in this resource market right here, arguably still the center of the world, Vancouver, British Columbia, for junior mining stocks. Australia is giving us a run at the moment in some ways, and they're doing fabulously well, but this is still the epicenter. There's no doubt about that. Absolute epicenter.
Happy BC Day, Martyn.
Happy BC, and thank you so much again, Jim. Thank you so much. Look forward to talking to you again in a couple of weeks, listeners.
My guest has been Martyn Element, a Vancouver marketing and corporate advisor who focuses on sourcing and pursuing new business ventures. You're listening to HowStreet.com Radio. You can find us on Twitter at TalkDigitalNet. Our YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. You can forward questions to info@HowStreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com Radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com Radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.